This is in relation to my mum who passed 14 years ago. And it was impressed upon me at the time to share within the first 3 months. So how time flies, should I say. So bear with me. It's been a long time, and I'm not that well rehearsed in actually my reading, English, grammar, etc. So here goes. And again, it's been impressed on me for the last few days. So the veil must be very thin at the moment, and our beloved ones, ancestors, must be aspiring to come through and help us on our way. That's the way I see it. When it happens so many times, it's like, okay, I'm hearing you. So this is called Only a Glimpse Now and Again. You know, there were some notes. So the night before my mum died, I had this dream. She was presented, or should I say, presented herself to me in her prime, the most beautiful and happiest I had ever seen. The dream expressed her epic pioneering life. She was represented as a white unicorn, but I chose to use a mare as that seemed much more comprehensible, acceptable, and easy to grasp by most, and me too actually. It's ironic though, after finishing these words, which took me over about 5 days, because I was not rehearsed at this at all, the day before Mum's funeral, and where I actually read it out at the wake. I was talking to a friend before and mentioned the unicorn. He said, yeah, have you ever looked on the coats of arms, Pete? It's like, no. It's like, yeah, the unicorn's chained down by a so-called lion. And I had a look, like, whoa, that's a strange looking lion. So that's really depicting a certain time, if one wants to look at it, into it. So food for thought. Back to what was impressed upon me, shown by my mother and my siblings' mum, and what she wanted me to share and express at that time. I got inspired and busy, aspiring to put pen to paper for this occasion, not done before, not knowing if it would even get out there. So if you can bear with me, that would be great, being that my spelling and grammar is not too cool, as I might have had been really, really smart then while so small as I used to run away from school. It's called again, Only a Glimpse Now and Again. From where she came, she could see no one the same. From where she came, only a glimpse now and again. Born into a world of fences which numbed down her senses, like a spirited mare lost from her herd, seeking for her siblings and stallion, but to no avail. So in the end, she eventually fell. In her life, she always knew the life laid out for her was not true. She could not wait to come of age, to get away from the very high fences which numbed down her senses. When the time came, she believed she was free. Little did she know that there was a lot she could not see. Secretly counting the years, the months, the days, until finally she became of age. On that day, she ran and ran with rage, like being freed from a cage, feeling that many years had been lost and got wasted. Enjoying her new sense of freedom, seeking and searching her stallion and siblings, seeing if she could see others from where she had came, but to no avail. Others seeing this beautiful blonde mare lost from her herd with no stallion. There were a few who she believed were. Also, there were many who deceived her and convinced her that they were. That soon became only a glimpse now and again, with her deep feeling of lack and loss, enjoying as much as she could, however, with such a severe loss. and cost. Like a mare that had been starved of pure water, no matter how much she drank this water, it never seemed to have quenched her thirst. Spiritually deprived from her early childhood fences and violated senses, from within the fences her childhood could have looked very idyllic. She always knew deep down this was not true, as she knew all her immediate family only knew living within these fences with their numbed down senses, with occasionally only a glimpse now and again. So on and on she went like a lost child, not knowing, hot from cold to mild, deep, deep down in her heart, knowing this life was not right, but it seemed so far out of sight. Still not finding her true stallion and her siblings, seeking and seeking amongst the lost, with a lot of physical cost. In her early childhood, being freed from the cage, she tried to make a few lives that entailed being a few wives, having children of her own, desperately hoping to see in their eyes the spark of the siblings she once knew. To no avail, only a glimpse now and again. Her grandchildren and great-grandchildren came the same, only a glimpse now and again. Little did she know, though, they were all here. They came unaware she and them had all gone insane, all unable to see, all born into a world of these fences which numbed down everyone's senses and violated the senses, never being able to get over or through these fences, being stuck, locked down in trauma from their early childhood, resulting in some pain, everyone forgetting from where it all originally came. Never to be able to truly trust once again, and it all became a fading glimpse now and again. Mum, she one of many, being separated from her herds, tribes, in an alien environment with no true support or nurture. They unable to see one another, which gave to all no real hope, purpose or future. When back in the time when all could see, dare I say, she a unicorn. But as I still care to share, I will keep it simple and just stay with our mum as a mare. In a time when all were able to see our siblings, our stallions, our tribes, when we were all once connected, having been truly nurtured, comforted, guided, reassured, a simple knowing. In bearing her own children, not truly knowing how to nurture, no one to guide her apart from herself, being a beautiful being from a beautiful place, and like with her children, no true authentic mirror to face. With not knowing the root of her loss, with her roots disconnected, the odds stacked against her, she felt she had no choice but to accept the fences, with the continuing numbing and violation on her senses. Along she was able, all alone should I say, she was able to keep a piece of her spirit as she journeyed, earnestly waiting and looking like a lost, helpless child in a crowd, hoping her family would return. From where she came, she could not see no one the same. From where she came, only a glimpse now and again. Born into a world of fences which numbed down her senses, like a spirited mare taken from her herd, seeking her stallion and siblings, but to no avail. So in the end she eventually fell. In the last few months of her falling, It could be argued that we were all too late. That will be for the individual to go deeper or just to stay in default coping mechanism and debate. I attentively waiting an inner calling. Why was I stalling? I earnestly searched, eventually was shown. Her fences were too high and her senses were too dense. No more I could be doing, having to learn to sit back once again and watch another one of many. Mum's well-rehearsed play that had to commence. Mum happy to take the fall like a daughter of ours. She be Yinka, Mum's first, my older sibling. If we only got past what we were taught to see, we would see two beautiful beings they be, two invaluable gifts they bring, both knowing if things got into such a state, they would have to embrace their fate. Our job to be to get beyond the fences and numb down violated senses, so they may dissolve, so we may reconnect. It's like, oh my gosh, silly me. This is where I broke down in tears when I did the wake. Anyway, oh my gosh, silly me. Shame on me, even though we don't do shame. As I write this to this part now, I get reminded, don't forget, Pete, there was free. I'm sure like all, how could we have nearly missed Danielle? Her divine gift. Danielle was very, very small. She be created from a part of me. It could be said she was the first to try and break the curse. Here not long for everyone to remember her song. I sure we be left with only a glimpse now and again. 9 months old, in fact, she hardly ventured, which could seem sad. She also did not get to see the light of day. She helped bring so much change and so much joy to me and her mum. If only one could get to see. Danielle not needing to experience the fences and the violation on her senses while she bathed in the light of her mother's womb. All was not ready for her to be received, so hence why she had to leave. She carved the way, one might say. How many sheaves must be falling before we hear their calling? I repeat, especially to men. How many sheaves must be falling before we hear their calling? Why especially to men? Everyone really. Our repressed emotions. We need to be accountable. We need to take care. We need to own them, clear them. So I appeal to our true selves. Let's stop a-falling. Please, please, please hear their calling. So for the ones who have had more than just a glimpse now and again, work it out what you need to do. Then you and others will begin to see and remember from once where we all came. From where she came, she could not see no one the same. From where she came, only a glimpse now and again. Born into a world of fences which numb down her senses like a spirited mare taken from her herd, seeking her stallion and siblings, but to no avail. So in the end, she eventually fell. Maybe, just maybe, unbeknown to she, her falling may have helped again to break the spell. I'm sure only time will tell. Now it's down to us. Some siblings have awoken to share some of the unknown and the unspoken. Now the door is wide open for everyone to see. Mum has the opportunity to finally rest in peace and return to her beautiful place at a very fast pace, knowing her job has been well done. So let's all move on before another one is gone, and learn how to get back to where the light be shone, so we may all pass that on to our family, siblings and children and daughters. If we hear the voices, we have infinite choices. Now seeing the pattern of why that was happening or happened, surely now we know and we can change the movie, as it can be really damn love groovy. So it's not too late to change our fate. So now with what I see was only personally for me to see, to simply share for who may care. Blessings and thank you, Danielle, Yinka, Mum, for a job very well done. That was that. A few years later we lost another. It seems some be too attached to our change to receive the gains. She be Karen, fourth of six, her daughter and the last from Mum. I for one received the gift from Danielle, Yinka and Mum. I did my best to aid Karen's awakening. The passing of our Mum for Karen was not fun. She also had a passing of a very dear close friend, long-term soul sister friend. She be Cheryl. 10 days Cheryl spent with me, I sharing all what I knew to aid her back to better health. She was doing so well, she went back home to a place of unawoken, as so many are all broken. 6 months later she passed, dear Cheryl. To add to Karen's stress and her peril in an intense ongoing disconnect with her daughter, it was like she became a lamb led to the slaughter. Karen's pain so great, all too hard for her to sustain. So a heavy weight, such a heavy weight, to know where to begin to try and elevate. Damn, here I am again. I did my best 2 weeks that be up there with her, helping to the best I could. Different protocols, etc., etc. Implementing the best I knew. She did amazing. She looked amazing. I had to leave her and her family to it. She had more visits to the hospital. She became supposedly infected after infection, which is true. Another time with an operation, then that time I knew I was shown in the astral that something really sinister went on. Something not right. So less stress she had, more stress, the odds stacking against her. I have to be honest and say, with not much awareness or correct help from the rest, even though some did their best. That's what happens when we're all broken. Come on, let's fix ourselves. After months with her partner by her side of hospital interventions, well done partner, you know who I mean. Interference, Karen finally got down to me. I helped her with the obvious of what I could see. Unbeknown to all, turned out to be her last 3 days, unable to recover. As I have said, the best gift she could have gave her younger brother. Karen having too much traumatic experience to be able to shift more than enough to make anyone ill. To add to these feelings, she realized some of her family never came or did on her very last day, especially no females, all making her sadder, except for Abba. So I reached out. Some may talk of love, however, they're not around when push comes to shove, or they may need one humongous shove. So much went on in them last 3 days, too much to cover here. All I can say, Karen managed to release, did let go. So much childhood pain into the ether. It's wise not to shun or scorn or blame anyone. However, good to not underestimate, or one may just want to investigate. In brief, I'll leave this part as it's not my place to push a case, even though there'd be much more I could share if anyone would care. In retrospect, it turns out not too much learned, many too broken to have been truly woken, unable to see who we truly are. It just seems to be too far in the distance, so far away for anyone to see any possibility to get free. Now this is finally sent to be shared, to pass on to all. Maybe, just maybe, someone understanding, inner standing might occur. To not keep compartmentalizing for it to go rotten and forgotten. I'm sure when Mum had passed, and when this was my first air, or when it was first aired, being approximately 13 years ago. As cheeky as it may sound, I would like to think they all be in a jolly place portrayed as heaven. Now, with what I know, I can only personally see to simply share for who may care, and for them to know it will be shouted from the tops of the rooftops, if and when needed. Again, blessings. And thank you, Danielle, Yinka, Mum, and now Karen, for a very well job done.